I welcome you to the second episode of Campus Dialogue, powered by Selection Television in collaboration with the Department of Mass Comm and Journalism. I, Deepraj Rai, Assistant Professor, Department of English. And along with me, I have an important guest today, Mr. Atharva Chaturvedi, who is working as a project manager at TD, and also he has been an important member of Doctor under the guidance of Dr. Sonam Wangchuk. And most importantly, he is an engineer, and he is a life testament of how nature and science can go together. So, I would like to welcome Mr. Atharva Chaturvedi for today's discussion. Waste management has been a burning issue, as you all know, and waste management has been an overwhelming sort of presence in our daily existence. But the problem with today, in the society today, is that we think this waste management is a big problem, and dealing with it is also another big task. So what is the answer to this? How do you have to resolve? What can you say to these people who think this waste management is a big issue?
Firstly, thank you for inviting me here, and nice wordplay there, I must say, burning issue. Because when we talk about zero waste, we mainly talk about two simple rules. So that's no burning and no dumping. It's also about perception, what I've really realized over here. Think about it when you're doing your dishes. So when you're cleaning utensils, let's say you've cleaned your plates, you keep it in one rack. You clean your spoons and forks, you keep it in one rack. You clean your bowls, you keep it separately. That's exactly what we want to do with waste. When we mix everything, we're unable to fix the entire problem. So that's also sort of a motto that TD goes by. So if you mix it, you can't fix it. So it has been a behavior issue more than a technical issue, I would say. And I think over a period of time, as long as we're able to raise awareness and tell people how simple it actually is, as easy as not mixing your utensils. So I think we should be able to tackle that problem.
Right. So you said about the awareness, but I don't think so they are less aware. We are aware that plastic is going to be a waste. And how do we tackle that? One step where, a logical step every day we could do.
So, personally speaking, from experience, when I was also taking an interview from one of the students over here at Salesian, what I got to know about was plastic is bad for the soil, because if you leave plastic on ground, that would technically result in landslides, because the runoff of soil during the rainy season, plastic would actually aid to that. So the best option that they get is to burn plastic. But what we do not realize is that it actually affects the air, the microclimate around us. So more than an awareness issue, I do agree with you. People are aware about certain issues that they've been facing over here in the district of Darjeeling. But it's also about how to correctly tackle the problem as well, not by burning it, but by segregating it and sending it to proper processing units like the one that we have at TD.
Okay. So, just laying that aside now, that's a problem. The next thing is the government also is aware of it, that the huge tons of waste are produced. In Darjeeling itself, 30 to 35 tons of waste is produced every day. It is
Correct.
So why isn't the government taking serious initiative to resolve this? That's my question to myself, and I want to know an answer from your side as well.
So while we're also working with block level programs, let's say we have an intervention in Tagda. So while we're working with the municipality over there, what we've realized is that there are certain issues that do not come under the government's, let's say, prioritization, because there are other major issues that they want to tackle. Maybe it's with respect to jobs, income sustainability, how to not have tourism overstress certain regions in the district itself. So waste is not seen as a big problem, but as time is progressing, I think people are now slowly realizing that it is actually destroying the soil, the water, and the air that is around us. So we work with this tripod model of sorts. So we want the community to take ownership, but we're also trying our level best to have the municipality or the government involved with this. And with that, we also require the third leg of the tripod model would be to have some funds supporting this entire initiative, so that these things can be carried forward by the community and the municipality itself.
Right. But my personal, what to say, inquisitiveness or worry is that Darjeeling has become a place where which recently has been labeled as to be the most polluted, nearly like Calcutta, but we don't realize it, and one of the reasons which we can say initiates this is that the waste, during tourist season the waste is huge, and the municipality has no answer. What they do is that they take this waste and dump it in the dumping site without treating it. So what do you have to say to this very process of resolving the issue on a temporary basis probably, but what do you have to say regarding this dumping it in the dumping site without treating it? But how long?
Actually, the funny part is that whenever we've tackled this, whenever we've tackled waste in general, so what we've seen is that it's not just the dumping yard that is filled with waste, but if you just go on a random slope here in the district of Darjeeling, you'll find waste.
True.
Anywhere and everywhere.
Yeah.
That's the major problem. One, obviously, there's a lack of decentralized waste management systems in the district itself. So you cannot particularly be dependent on one dumping yard to be overstressed with a lot of waste. Like you said, like 30 to 35 tons in a day, that's a lot. And imagine all of that coming to just one dumping yard. You might be in the making of another Ghazipur,
True.
a big dumping yard that would probably be in the district of Darjeeling itself. And the second thing about tourism overwhelming these dumping yards is, I think over a period of time, what tourists also need to realize is that whatever they get to this place when they're coming to witness the beauty of Darjeeling, they should actually leave the place in a much better condition than they saw it. So that responsibility, that's somewhere that's missing. And from a real life example that I also personally know of, so Spiti currently is the place has closed tourism for everyone for 40 days because the region has been overstressed with a lot of influx of foreigners, local tourists, and other folks as well. So at times, I think the government should also take huge steps like these, which might not be monetarily very beneficial for them, but if they look at it, do the math properly, and if it fits well according to the economics, then maybe a step like that is probably necessary.
So connecting to that, I just came across the thought that the single-use plastics, which was banned, legally banned in 2022. So, but that is not implemented on the ground zero. So how do you think, this kind of, the legal steps that the government is taking, but not trying to implement it forcibly? What is that gap that needs to be addressed?
So one more thing that actually has caught our attention is the lack of eco-alternatives as well. So when we talk about the use of single-use plastic is quite durable when you talk about it as a packaging material. But how do you replace that? Do you have any other alternatives in the market that would provide you with something?
We do not have.
Correct. So we often tell people about carrying cloth bags when they're going to market, so that whatever vegetables or groceries that they're getting, they can use the cloth bag that they're getting from the market. But when it comes to vegetable vendors or grocery store owners, they really do not have any option. And through the Eco Store at TD, we are trying to scale up the eco alternatives that we have, so that more people can have these alternatives at a cheaper price, probably.
Eco alternatives, like for example?
So we're now using actually paper bags. It's very easy. So paper bags, you'll see any of our employees going to the market, and actually it has become a very funny thing in Sonada. So whenever we go buy anything, we won't use paper cups, we won't use any plastic bags, we'll have our own paper bag coming in from TD itself. And if you see drinking us tea anywhere, so except for the mug that I'm using right now, but we have the small steel cup that is foldable actually, and we carry that with us at all times. So small things which tend to add a lot of burden when you think about it, a lot of microplastics being created in the entire system because of these small things. So
you have been in this locale, probably the Darjeeling and Sonada, for a long time. So what do you have to say? What is the one basic problem that you felt, that needs to be addressed immediately, as a, as a green, like pro green worker, as.
So, with respect to waste management specifically, what we think is that source segregation is extremely important. So, that is one issue that I would definitely want households to tackle, actually. So, be it in Sonada or Darjeeling or any other place, what's necessary for people to understand is that source segregation is quite simple, and when you hand it over to the decentralized waste management systems that will be in place, hopefully in the future, so processing becomes much easier, and then once that is done, I think majority of the problem gets taken care of.
But despite all this dialogue that we have, and all the initiatives and schemes that government is coming up with, but on the ground zero, the things are very, very, deplorable, I would say. Very. So, as a green worker, as a pro-green worker, initiating changes in the society, do you think, like, what goes on in your mind when things are not changing after all the initiatives that you do?
So actually, sometimes it is obviously disappointing, because when you think about it, so we had this 100 zero waste households project in Sonada, and of those 100 households, we ended up with just 50 households actually getting onboarded onto the project. So, like, that's 50%, and sometimes you might even expect the number going below that. So how do you close the tap? How do you ask people to not consume more? How do you bring about that behavior change? That's a lot of effort from all sides, actually. So initially, when we were talking about how the community plays an important role, the government also plays an important role. So the place where I come from, Mumbai, so just a week ago, the municipality has enforced a lot of laws with respect to composting in people's societies, at their homes, and if anyone is seen throwing garbage on the road or any public site, so they'll be fined from, let's say, 500 rupees, and it can actually go up to 20,000 rupees. So 20,000 is being charged for construction waste that is being dumped carelessly. So restrictions like these, rules like these, when it is enforced by the municipality and also followed upon on the ground itself, that's when I think the real change also starts to happen. So obviously a lot of effort from all sides.
Okay, heading on to the last phase of this discussion, I see, these young minds, this young generation as such, who is watching this, like, and they do not have an answer to this, just like we as a community do not have an answer to this. And what do you have to say to these young minds so that they get encouraged to be a part of your project and think about it, at least an awareness, probably?
Yeah. So what I particularly felt went a little wrong with my upbringing in school and in college as well was that I was never really taught about all these things in my curriculum itself. So what we've done as an organization is developed a curriculum which is called Everyday Environmentalism. So we're trying to integrate that into local schools, colleges, have a lot of programs, workshops at TD itself, wherein we're wanting a lot of people to come in and know more about the climate change space. Once, let's say, we're able to communicate that knowledge gap between us and the students. So I think a lot of things then start to change, because the youth, technically, they set a trend to a lot of things. They normalize certain things. And right now, let's say if we're normalizing a bad AQI, which shouldn't actually be the case, let's say the youth starts talking about it, and if there's a lot of, spoken word going out. So that's when they start also taking responsibility, and I guess in a year or two, a lot of things might just be a little different because the trend, according to them, has changed.
Yeah, but I still believe these young minds needs a lot of thought, because they read a lot of books, but and on the practical level, we are still very casual about plastics and nature. We just dump it, we just throw it. That shows that despite being all aware that we are not concerned about nature, that's a big concern that also hits me when I see these young minds to go around least bothered. They are hooked up with other things, distracted. So So with this, we would head to the end of the discussion. So any lines that inspired you, and what inspired you to be a part of this entire project, thinking about nature. I'm going to work towards the betterment of the society. Thinking about nature, thinking about the environment. What would be what was your main thought that guided you to this direction?
So again, coming from Mumbai, I think I was actually working at a very good job. Like I was working with Ernst & Young for about 3 years, and then it was a well-paying job. But if you ask me, why did I leave that job to come here in this social sector? Things started to affect my home place, I would say, my city, which I loved so much while growing up. I can see the air quality going extremely bad, like it's above 350 during winters, and when you can feel the difference in the air. So I've been to places like Ladakh and other places in Himachal, you can feel the difference in the air that you're breathing. So when you realize that these are things that are directly affecting you right now, so the air is carcinogenic, that you're drinking is not drinkable. It was amazing to me when I first got to know that any tap in Ladakh that I open, I can directly drink from it. Like it was some foreign concept to me, because I used to always see or listen about all of this coming from Western countries. Over here, there are only a few places in Darjeeling itself where you can actually do that. Like you can open the tap water and then just drink it. So we've destroyed a lot of our streams, talking about Darjeeling itself, the streams that feed Sanchal Lake. So of the 26 streams, 12 have died. So it's because of rapid urbanization, massive construction, unplanned, just drainage systems. All these things are destroying the place right now. And it is really hurtful to see that places as pristine as Darjeeling, when you, as an outsider, when you see that this place is hurting a lot, so you want to be able to do something so that it does not be as, I wouldn't want to say as bad as Mumbai, but at least it doesn't reach that point. So if there's something that we can do to save it, maybe we should.
So with this, we come to the end of the dialogue. I hope all the viewers who are watching this, were tweaked to think about nature in a different way. Every change begins with awareness, and every awareness begins with the dialogue. So with this, we come to the end of this very discussion, and we thank Mr. Atharva for your august presence today, and hope this discussion would continue, and hope to see you once again. Till then, we'll keep the discussions alive. Thank you very much, and have a nice day.